So everyone, welcome to Power Play with CJ. I figured I'd do a close-to-home story talking about two South Boston natives, Cam Askew and Cam Darcy, both taking their talents to the Quebec Major Junior League, spurring college commitments. Actually, we'll talk more about that in a second, and what it means for South Boston hockey on the whole. Obviously, Southie is one of the best hockey-producing towns in America. Brian Noonan, NHL player, Stanley Cup champ. Plenty of guys going D1. But it fallen down. Somewhat down times in recent years, and I remember Darcy playing for Dexter, and then going out to the development team, committed to Northeastern, then decommitted, and then ended up back in Northeastern, played 9 games, and was then with Muskegon of the USHL last year, and now he's going to the Cape Breton Screaming Eagles of the Q. And I think part of it, this is a kid that should have been a top 3 round pick, was undrafted in 2012, undrafted this past year. I know there's some injuries, some inconsistencies in his play. I think a lot of the going to the Q, I think it can be attributed to the incompetency that is Northeastern's hockey program. I know when he was, after he decommitted the first time, I think BC, BU, and North Dakota were his 3 picks. I think had he ended up at one of those, perennial national powerhouses, I think he wouldn't have gotten top 6 minutes per se, but he definitely would have been in a program that could benefit his long-term needs better. And I think he had 2 assists opening night against BC, and then that was it. I think he had no points the rest of the way. And Cape Breton's kind of an all-or-nothing move for him. He's got next year, and then he's got an overage year if possible. But I think there is some talent there. I mean, it is plays a real gritty game, but it's a long shot for him to make the show, and it's unfortunate, but it's the nature of the beast with the dog-eat-dog world that is junior hockey. It's what you get into. I think it's a shame he didn't end up at, like I said, a better college hockey producing institution, but he did the good thing with Northeastern, and I think that had to do with a lot of it. Now with Cam Askew, this kid was a top 10 pick in the Q draft by Drummondville. He committed to Northeastern as well, and then committed to BU, and now he's going to the Q. This is a kid that'll be a first-round pick in 2 years, and he's just that good. The skill set's there. He's playing for a good program in Drummondville, but the big question is going in Southie's history. Not too many guys have gone to major juniors when you think about a lot of great college hockey players coming out of South Boston. More recent years, Kenny Roach, Sean Sullivan at BU. But you look at, take it a step further, is it a wider sphere of influence for the Q1 New England, and is this a microcosm? That's what I'm looking at. We've seen more and more high-profile Americans go up there. Obviously, Charlie Coyle went up. Charlie was a little bit different with the BU situation, but it's happening. Americans are welcomed up there more so than they ever have been, and I think it's kind of intriguing. I know it didn't work out. Brandon Shea still isn't working out with Brandon Shea, but the Quebec Ramparts have Noah Hannafin's rights, and Noah Hannafin's as highly touted a prospect that's come out of New England in a long time, especially a defenseman. Jack Eichel was a first-round pick by the Halifax Mooseheads, who had an absolute bomb squad. He could have joined and won a Memorial Cup last year. His rights went back in the draft. I think the St. John Sea Dogs have his rights, and they've done a great job of getting Americans, Charlie Coyle, to go up there. So it's kind of an intriguing thing. I just think growing up in Southie, it kind of stood out to me. I don't know. I think I've met one of them once in street hockey, but I just as an observer, as to kind of take a note of it. But I'm curious to see what transpires. In terms of the Q coming down. I mean, it's healthy competition for the NCAA, and I'll talk more about my issues with the NCAA as the season comes closer. But I think this is a pretty intriguing scenario, something both junior fans and college hockey fans should be keeping an eye on. Anyway, that's all this episode of Power Play with CJ on South Boston's two camps from South Boston going to the Q. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the off season and beyond. Later, guys.